Welcome back to GSMC's Down by Contact Sports Podcast. I am your host, Jeremy Lapidus. Today is Tuesday, May 20th. If you were just tuning in, we just finished going over the potential rule changes going on in the NFL owners' meetings that kicked off today. In this segment, we're going to expand on that a little bit. The rule that has already been passed, 32-0, is the new rule that NFL players will be allowed to participate in the 2028 Olympic roster in flag football. We'll talk about what the dream roster is for me. I'd love to hear what your rosters are. Let's get into it here. Our first selection here, of course, we have to start off at the quarterback position. The quarterback position, I think, is really interesting. Let's talk a little bit about the differences between flag football and the NFL. Flag football is very much a speed game. In the NFL, power is just as important as speed is. In flag football, you cannot make contact. It is a contactless sport. You will get penalized if you run into somebody. That is not allowed. You need to be quick, you need to be fast, you need to be twitchy, and you need to be able to make these decisions and cover for a very long time. You also have to be able to have quick hands and pull these flags, which is not something that is necessarily the easiest thing to do when you're going up against fast, quick athletes. These guys that are going to be making spin moves. That's the deadly move when we're talking about flag football. We're looking at guys that can be quick and can have that finesse kind of move rather than anything else. So let's start off with the quarterback situation. At quarterback, a lot of people are going to say we need a guy like Patrick Mahomes. And I think Patrick Mahomes would be a great fit flag football quarterback. But he's not going to be the perfect one. There are four guys that I would put ahead of him, and maybe even more. We're going to start off with the number one option, that being Lamar Jackson. You want a quarterback that is quick, can throw on the run, and someone that can shake guys out of their boots. That is absolutely Lamar Jackson. If you wanted to go for someone else, there's a couple other options as well. A guy like Anthony Richardson that has a cannon of an arm, but also can be a fast physical runner. You don't need a physical runner, which is why he's off of the list a little bit. Same with Jalen Milroe, who's on that same kind of list. But the number two guy I think that I would put here if Lamar Jackson didn't want to do it is Kyler Murray. You're talking about a guy that is quick, fast, can avoid flags. Having that smaller frame, I think, is going to be really big when we're talking about a quarterback. It's going to be a lot harder for these guys to go out and to go out and pull these flags if you have to get a little bit lower, especially if you can get a quick spin move in there. So Lamar Jackson is my dream quarterback, but if he doesn't say yes, we're going with Kyler Murray at number two. Now, a lot of people here would go running backs next, but I think where you need to go is wide receivers. I think wide receivers are going to be where this team really gets its huge advantage. And what you want at wide receiver is you want speed. That is the key to this team. Speed, 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 speed. We are putting the two best wide receivers in the game out here because Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson, you can't leave off this roster. They are going in this roster regardless of whatever you think. Justin Jefferson is the best wide receiver in football. He is the best route runner in football. He is going to be able to create space, and he is going to be able to juke people out of their shoes, get him on that football field. Jamar Chase, also one of the best route runners in football. He is also one of the fastest players in football. I don't think he gets enough credit for that, how fast his breakaway speed really is. Get him on the field, get those two to play together once again like they were at LSU. Those two guys on the field together are wide receiver 1 and 2, but then get the fastest guy in football. At wide receiver 3, we're going with Tyreek Hill. If Tyreek Hill can't go, get his teammate in Jalen Waddle. Again, the key to this game is speed, 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 speed. You need your fast guys out there, and nobody in the NFL is faster than the cheetah. Get Tyreek Hill out there to play wide receiver. He is exactly what you need. Now, I will say there is reason to have a running back out there. If you want a running back to play like center or something, I think that's kind of the perfect spot for him. There's a couple running backs that I would circle here. And I would bring two running backs here as one as a backup here. We're looking at guys that not necessarily your Derrick Henrys of the world, because they are amazing running backs, no doubt about it. But we're looking at guys that are going to be more finesse running backs, your third down receiving backs closer to it than your Derrick Henrys and the guys that are going to be big bruisers in the NFL. So the guys that I've circled here are guys like Bijan Robinson from the Falcons and Jahmyr Gibbs from the Lions. These are the two running backs that I think are the guys that are fast and have a little bit of shimmy shake to them. They've got that spin move in their bag. If you want a guy like Saquon Barkley as well, these are the guys that we're putting in. These guys that have that devastating spin move, that breakaway speed. These are the guys that we want as our running backs. But it's going to be a wide receiver heavy team because you just need to get speed out there and you need to get guys that can catch the ball. Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, Tyreek Hill, they can all do those jump balls, and you need a couple of those, but speed kills in this game, and those are the guys that you're looking at bringing in. On the defensive side of the ball, you need a pass rusher. And what we saw in the Flag Football Pro Bowl last year, I think is exactly what we need in our dream NFL team. From the Cowboys, their representative, Kevontae Turpin, the wide receiver, not playing wide receiver, but playing pass rush. You get him to be a speedy pass rusher. You get the other team's quarterbacks to be in purgatory all game long. These guys are not going to have a good time with Kevontae Turpin running at him. His speed is insane. That is who you want. You want the fast guy to go out there and rush and put pressure on the passer so that they don't have time to escape or run or find a place to throw. Outside of that, kind of along the same lines, we want corners. We don't need linebackers. We don't need safeties. Now, I am going to put one linebacker in here just in case, a guy like Fred Warner that can play cover linebacker as well as read the quarterback very well. I think he would be an excellent middle-of-the-field guy just to control things, but you need a lot of corners. So the corners that I'm looking at bringing onto our team, I'm bringing 4 corners. One of them is kind of cheating, though. You need the defensive player of the year from last year, Pat Surtain II. He is someone that's going to go out there, shut them down. His ability to play man is electric, and that's what you need. You need the greatest man corners rather than zone. And zone can work, but it's a lot harder in flag football to work than it is with all these speedy guys in the NFL. Pat Surtain is CB1. We also have the other All-Pro mention next to him in Derek Stingley Jr. These young guys that are coming up and being the best corners in the league, bring them onto my dream team. You also can't move this dream team without Sauce Gardner. That is my 3-headed monster at cornerback right there with a pass rusher in Kevontae Turpin. Now, this is where it gets really interesting because for my final spot, there's a lot of places that you could go. You could go out and get a guy like, you could go out and get a safety. You could go out and get a linebacker. You could get a pass rusher like a Micah Parsons that can play everywhere else, but you don't necessarily need these power guys. You need a guy that can come out and do it all. And that's why my final representative of my NFL flag football dream team is going to be cornerback / wide receiver Travis Hunter. I think Travis Hunter is a player that is built to play flag football. You talk about a guy that has all of the motor in the entire world. That is Travis Hunter. Now, this is taking a big swing on a guy that has never played in the NFL before. He was a 2nd overall pick. He won a Heisman. I believe in him. He's someone that I think can be very impactful at this level, but he is a guy that I think is the perfect archetype to play flag football, and I want him on my team. So to go over it one more time, my offense is going to be made up of quarterback Lamar Jackson, wide receivers Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, and Tyreek Hill, running backs Bijan Robinson and Jahmyr Gibbs. At the defensive side of the ball, we're getting Pat Surtain, Derek Stingley Jr., Sauce Gardner, and Travis Hunter for our corners. Our pass rusher is Kevontae Turpin, and we're going to bring in a linebacker as well in Fred Warner's the newly paid man out of the 49ers. But I'd love to hear your thoughts. What is your dream flag football roster? What do you think of my flag football roster? I'd love to hear your thoughts. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we turn our attention to the world of baseball. Lots of stuff going on over there. The Orioles have fired their manager off to a horrid start. They have lost 7 in a row. Juan Soto in talks of not giving enough effort over there in New York as the Mets fall out of first place in the NL East behind a brutal sweep in the Subway Series. We'll talk about all of that and more coming up next here on GSMC's Down by Contact Sports Podcast.